Sorry about that, babe.
So here we are, World of Illusion. Finally, we're at the end of my personally dubbed Disney Holy Trinity on the Sega Genesis. For those not in the know, the other two games are Castle of Illusion and Quackshot, which I recently did playthroughs and reviews for. I'll link them in the pinned comment and description below for you. Growing up, I was always incredibly enamored by World of Illusion. I remember thinking to myself how awesome it was. It was basically a mixture of the previous two games in a sense, and I mean, yeah, it really kind of is. I didn't actually own this game as a kid, so I was recently thinking, maybe my high regard for this game was kind of based off of what I was missing as a kid or longing for at the time. It had been a solid, 10 to 15 years since I actually played the game, and then probably another 28 to 29 years since my first ever playthrough, so it was definitely time to go back and revisit it and see, where does this one rank amongst the other two? World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck is a platformer that was developed and published by Sega, released on the Sega Genesis in North America in March of 1993. The story of World of Illusion is quite simplistic. Mickey and Donald are preparing a magic act, and while doing so, they discover a magical box. This magical box belongs to a mysterious magician later learned to be Pete, and Mickey and Donald are sent into a magical world needing to get back home. Right off the bat, one of the more intriguing things about World of Illusion is the varying play modes. You can play through the game as both Mickey and Donald, which while sharing the same movements and attack patterns and even some of the same levels, they do have some variance. There are certain segments in each level that differ between the two heroes. This is partially due to the fact that Donald has a fat arse and can't fit where Mickey can sometimes, so he has to take an alternate route. I do want to point out that unfortunately I did not do a playthrough of the two-player mode, which is one of the biggest allures to the game. It is two-player cooperative, and in some cases you'll have to use teamwork in order to advance. It's a very worthwhile play mode, and in fact some people would probably consider it a main selling point of the game, and I could totally see it. I don't want to shortchange it, but this review is primarily focused on my one-player playthroughs, and as you could expect I only played through it again recently by myself. I did play the two-player mode in the past, and it is a blast, yet again seeing some different segments that you don't see in the one-player mode in certain levels. I just want to give two-player mode its special shout out that it deserves, and hopefully sometime soon I can get a playthrough up for you guys. And even though this is primarily covering the one-player mode, I am keeping the two-player mode in my mind for my final score. World of Illusion is made up of 5 stages with varying segments, as mentioned depending on which mode and character you use. These stages consist of the Enchanted Forest, Among the Clouds, Underwater Adventure, the Library, and the Magic Box. The stages and segments are put together quite well, and they help convey art and influence from various Disney films such as Snow White, Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, and so forth. Not only that, but I do find that this game serves as almost a love letter to various Sega Genesis games of Mickey and Donald's past. You will find tons of influences and similarities between Castle of Illusion, Quackshot, and even Fantasia when it comes to not only the areas, but the enemies and the general whimsical nature of it all. I find that the graphics of World of Illusion are kind of just okay. I actually prefer those in Castle of Illusion and Quackshot more, but I feel that World of Illusion does a better job of creating a feel and atmosphere which is second to none in my opinion from this era. Going along with the feel and the atmosphere is a soundtrack which yet again is amazing. The tunes of the stages and boss battles blend together seamlessly to convey its meaning. Some tracks that stand out to me in particular are that of the Underwater Adventure prior to the ship. It is literally the most haunting, in a good way, piece that I could think of in 16-bit gaming. Equal bits of nostalgia and a feel that I have yet to replicate through all my years of gaming. Good lord, it paints the mood. You also have tracks towards the end of the game which to me, they sound like they could have been left on the cutting room floor for Shining Force 2, which has a great soundtrack in its own right. Composers Haruyo Oguro and Tomoko Sasaki did a bang-up job. When it comes to the control and difficulty of the game, in my opinion it's fairly standard. The controls I feel are tight, responsive, and they're easy to get used to. Whether it's running, attacking, or jumping, I feel that I'm always in control of my actions. The difficulty of the game, to be fair, is pretty easy. I feel like most players will get through one-player mode in their first sitting, sometimes not even using a continue. The game is pretty liberal in giving out 1-ups, so you have a lot of chances to get through. With a little bit of practice, you could probably get through both Mickey and Donald's one-player modes without dying at all. I do find, however, that Donald's mode can be a little bit more challenging than Mickey's, solely because of the different segments that revolve more around insta-kill platforming. By that nature, that's always going to be a bit more challenging, and unfortunately for Donald, he has a lot more of that than Mickey. World of Illusion is pretty highly renowned for being a great game, and rightfully so. There's so much going for it that it's almost impossible for it to be bad, but in my opinion, it is not perfect. My main issue with the game is the fact that it's honestly way too easy. With it being so easy, it is also a very quick game. Thankfully, with the differing play modes, you do get some replay value out of it, artificially extending the length of the game in a sense. I also don't know how to put my finger on it exactly, but I feel like the game took a step back graphically from that of Castle of Illusion and Quackshot. I know that World of Illusion has a lot more going on in the scenery compared to a more, I don't know, I guess you could say bland design of Castle of Illusion, but I feel like everything kind of just pops and blends together a little bit better in the previous entries. Also, on the minor complaint front, I found a lot of very random short sequences in between stage segments. I'm not really sure why they're there. Is it some sort of pseudo loading mechanism? I honestly don't really know. You'll see them throughout and hopefully you understand what I mean by they just kind of feel, I don't know, out of place. With my nitpicky and minor gripes aside, World of Illusion is a Sega Genesis / Mega Drive powerhouse and is totally deserved, in my opinion, to be in the top 25 on the console. Though as mentioned, I do prefer Quackshot and Castle of Illusion, so my score for World of Illusion is 8.5 out of 10. For reference, I gave Castle of Illusion a 9 and Quackshot a 9.5. If World of Illusion is your favorite out of the three, that's great. That's why we all have different tastes, right? Either way, World of Illusion and the others are timeless classics that any fan of platformers and or Disney games need to try or replay soon. If you've enjoyed this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I do my best to reply to all comments in all videos. Until next time.